Five, let's do this. The first recorded match of the Fiji Star League 3. That's the
Awesome.
number we're on.
We should introduce ourselves.
We should introduce ourselves.
You as our host.
I'm our host, S to the Slusky. See what I did there?
That's the and I'm Joe. I'm just Joe.
Just Joe. Perfect. All right. And Joe's gonna be our intelligent caster, and I'm gonna be our whatever the hell comes out of my mouth caster. So a lot of pressure on you, Joe.
So, okay, first important question. Do you think this map is going to make it back into the map pool next season?
I don't know. I was voting for Ohana more than
Mhm.
Belshir Vestige, to be honest.
Right. For those of you who aren't familiar, next ladder season is the first time that the community actually gets to choose what maps are in the ladder pool.
Right. So far, Metalopolis made it. But
Right.
anyway, before we do that, let's get started with our players. Spawning in the bottom right corner on Team Fallen, we have the Pink Zerg, FaZe. Or Chris, if I forget that his name is FaZe.
Word. And up at the top left, we have the yellow Protoss, RRDC, TZilla. There we go. I like the zoom in. I'm watching your camera, which is played by TZ. Pardon me.
So these players now, Chris. I did not know Chris would be playing Zerg. I have him down as a Terran, so he will get extra points for this game.
Do you know if he rolled random or?
No, he went into Zerg, so
Oh, really?
he's pulling out something new. I think he's hoping that his inexperience playing recently will be made up for by a completely new race.
Word. I can admire that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, TZ is playing his patented Protoss.
Sweet.
So, it's sad, really. TZ had a build all prepared for this, a build you know very well.
Right.
So it's a little upsetting that he won't get to pull it out because it would have been fun. But lots of extra points going around.
Yeah. Very good. So for those who might be watching who aren't familiar with the point system, do you want to go into that a little bit?
Okay, so while the players are just doing their opening builds, TZ taking 2 gases doesn't really mean anything. Chris taking a fast expand. The way the point system works is you get a multiplier based on the rank of your opponent. So Chris's highest achieved rank is Diamond, so playing against him gives you a ×4 multiplier on any points earned. Spawning pool going down at 15 supply. Meanwhile, TZ's highest achieved rank, I believe, I thought it was Platinum.
I think you're right. I'm pretty sure it's platinum.
Yeah, it looks like he's gold this season, but so he'll be giving Chris either a ×4 or a ×3 multiplier. I'll double check on that. The base value for winning, by the way, is 6 points. Losing is 1 point. So the fewest amount of points Chris could score out of this is like 3 plus. I think he gets another ×5 multiplier for playing off race.
Okay, very cool.
So, and that's just kind of to even the skill level out. Cybernetic score coming up. Let's see if he has enough gas to start.
Ooh, Twilight
Yeah,
Council.
he does. Wow, really? Oh.
Oh.
I think for those who don't know, the Twilight Council for the Protoss leads you towards Templar tech, specifically Dark Templars, and I won't ruin the surprise because we'll see those in a minute.
Yeah, I bet we will.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, Chris is just now taking his gas. In StarCraft, you have 2 resources. You have minerals, which are the blue things you can see on your screen right now, and gas, which is I don't know if Sam is mousing over the extractor.
I'm mousing over the geysers.
Right, where those drones go in. So TZ took his gases already way earlier, and Chris opted to not take his, but to rather take another base instead.
Yeah, this will mean Chris will be ahead in resources in the long run, but we might not get to the long run because
Yeah, I don't
there's
know
the
the
Dark
rule.
Shrine. That would explain the double gases. By the way, Templar are very gas intensive, and since TZilla wanted those early, he went for the double gases early, while FaZe is opting for Roaches, which are gas light, and the fast expand, so he really wanted a lot of minerals, which is why he only took 1 gas.
So it looks like TZ is going to apply some pressure with his early gateways and I guess I'm getting everyone confused. TZ's going to apply some pressure and make Chris think that he's like just applying pressure and then walk in with the Dark Templar.
I think that is what most intelligent players would do. My hypothesis.
Oh, is he gonna see it?
There's
Is he
the
gonna see it?
proxy. Oh,
The Overlord. The Overlord.
Can I go to player 1 cam?
If
That's
you
player two
select
cam.
the Overlord
Yep.
and press V, you can see his vision.
Oh,
And
really?
he actually, yeah,
Oh, is he gonna miss it?
he's gonna miss it.
He's definitely gonna miss it. There's no way. There's that
Yep.
pylon off in the corner, but there's no way. Yeah, that's.
But
that's
he might see the probe.
Yeah, but there's already a pylon down here in the bottom left.
Yeah, and he hasn't seen. So he's missed the Dark Shrine and the proxy pylon.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. Now, here's what could hurt TZilla's chances though. If he stops at this third. This third has. Oh nope, he's smart. He's
Nope,
going
he's-
straight past it. Yeah, the third has nothing of use for him. Oh, he's done this before. This is. For anyone who's never seen a StarCraft game before, this is a very clean execution.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is basically the StarCraft equivalent of getting caught with your pants down.
yes. So Chris is throwing up the spore crawlers because
Right.
the spore crawlers will allow him to see this.
If you switch to Chris's vision, you can actually see that he actually can't see this. You can just see a little blur.
Right. So you can see that blur if I'm following it with my camera, but yeah, this is but the spore crawlers came up, and this will allow him to defend his main base.
Oh.
He did though lose his natural.
And it looks like he might lose his third.
We'll see if he, oh, he's morphing the Overseers. I think TZilla should have sent those extra 3 DTs to make sure that the third goes down.
Yeah, I don't know that the third will go down. If Chris runs it right away and sends the Overseer, he might be able to save it.
Yeah,
Oh, he's got an Overseer there. But he's actually not going to. It looks like Chris is opting for a counterattack instead.
which is probably a good call. I'll go back to the everything camera. Though TZilla, I think that's if that zealot's on hold, that should go off. Oh, wow, fast wall off.
Oh, almost. The Zealot's not on
And
hold.
he sent the zealot, who, that zealot should have stayed. That's going to be rough for him. That's going to be rough for him. He's buckling under the pressure a little bit.
Yeah, but a good pull on the probes. He hasn't lost too many yet.
Yeah.
And if
No.
he puts a overcharge.
Overall, it's good.
Oh, yeah, he's fighting.
Not the nice.
But actually, he's gonna come out of this okay.
He lost.
Because he got the third base.
Yeah. All right. So he lost 13 workers. It looks like. In the unit production tab, or in the unit tab, which I've had open this whole time, we can see that that drops him down to 23 workers versus Chris's 37. But TZilla has the bonus of being on 2 bases,
Right.
which is huge. I definitely think he's ahead in economy. How do you think they'll transition out of this?
Right, well, it looks like Chris put down a Spire, but he only has 1 base. So he's making 4 Mutalisks. For those of you who don't know, Mutalisks are flying units. So the key will be for TZ to recognize that he's so far ahead and not panic when he sees these mutas.
Agreed. And he does have Archons, Mutalisks that should pump up and are light units. Archons deal splash damage in a small area, and they do extra damage to light units. So that's as good a counter as you can hope for with both players on these economies.
Yep. I also think we're going to see TZ transition into that build that he wanted to do originally. I think we're going to see him just throw down a bunch of gateways and go.
I think that would be the smart decision. Once again, he's throwing down a Robo. I'm not really sure why. I hope it's just for some sort of like Prism harass. If we look at resources, FaZe has a lot banked. So he will be able to kind of salvage his economy if he can contain TZilla, who really doesn't like mutas.
Oh, I like this, the harassment on the third base.
Oh, and he can't get out. He can't get his Archons into his main.
Oh,
They're too
no.
fat. And he apparently doesn't have enough energy for a photon overcharge. You need 100 energy. That mothership core only has 85. Oh, is he gonna walk right into the Archon? He did, but all right.
Right, but this is okay, because while this is going on... Oh, he's not actually going to get the third base, but he almost did. But even so, I mean, he's taken some damage, but it's alright.
Yeah, I would say despite the explosive DT rush start, they're pretty even
Yeah, I think they've just about evened out. I'd actually give a little bit of an edge to Chris.
because of his economy.
Yeah, but... And just
Yeah.
because I think Chris is the more experienced player, so the longer the game goes, I think it favors him.
I think I agree with that.
But that said, TZ's going to get the third base, and there's actually nothing Chris can do about it anymore. He doesn't have enough units left, and that puts him in a very good position. If you're a Protoss player on even bases with the Zerg player, you're happy.
It's true, and in a funny turn of events, because TZ started playing StarCraft like 5 years after I started playing StarCraft. I was playing against Tyler in another match, and TZ was chastising me for not concentrating on taking out Tyler's third and starving out the Zerg, which is apparently his go-to strategy against Zerg.
It seems to be working for him.
If only he had resaturated his gases, he's gonna find himself very gaslit, and probably not know why. Already he's very gaslit.
Yeah, he's just worker light in general right now. But he's done the right thing. I mean, he's got 2 stalkers in his main base defending and a photon cannon, and he's chrono boosting up ropes. It looks like so. He's making the right choices.
Yeah, he's stable. Does he have upgrades? I don't know what on this interface. I don't know what the upgrades tab is, so I'll just check it.
Yeah, TZ has 1-1 and Chris almost has 1-1.
1-1. I'm guessing. Is it ranged?
Melee.
Or
It's
is
melee.
It melee. Okay, so for once again for noobs here, roaches, which Chris is starting to build, are good against zealots and archons, but they do have a ranged attack. Zerglings are very poor against archons and zealots, but they have a melee attack, and Chris has opted for melee upgrade, so his Zerglings will be a little bit stronger, but his roaches will not in the larger environments. And you can see from this little skirmish here, despite the cost disparity between the forces, TZ's 3 zealots with their upgrades are really... Wow, is he going to get that?
Yeah,
wow.
he is. Not only that, but he actually also got the third base there. If we didn't catch it, he didn't actually cancel the third base. He killed it, so Chris got no money back. Chris has got to know that there's a pylon over here somewhere, right? Because that base has been under
siege.
Yeah, a lot of stress.
Yeah, I definitely think if TZ recognizes TZ has quite an impressive army here. I think if TZ leaves just leaves his base and says, "You want to attack me with mutas? Go for it." Chris doesn't have the larva. Zerg produce their units out of these larvae, and the larvae spawn at set intervals, and you can get them more with queens. But he doesn't have the larvae to really like maintain an army that can defeat TZ's. Like TZilla just needs to go here.
Yeah, I agree. I think TZ's has been doing a much better job of spending his money than Chris has. But he's a little. It looks like he's a little bit. He's just been afraid to attack the entire game, and he really needs to go.
I mean, in theory, if he's going by what he told me the other day, he's just trying to starve the Zerg player out by preventing him from taking a third base.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job here. Look, he's got a Zealot blocking this base and a Dark Templar that just killed the drone that went to take a third base over here.
I literally just looked at those in reverse.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, he did. So he knows right now that the Zerg is on 2 base and he's on. Well, he's taking his third base, so he feels comfortable not to attack. It's just. I still think that attacking would have been the correct decision. But if he wants to wait for his 2-2 upgrades, that's totally fine.
He's waiting for 2-2. He's getting some Phoenixes, which he doesn't really need. I want to think to myself that he knows he's ahead, and he's just kind of like having fun. I wanna think that. He definitely has huge map presence. If you look at their vision,
yeah, absolutely.
Chris has all right vision. He knows that pylon is there. He's spotted that pylon previously, but he's not going after it. TZilla has pretty good vision. Oh, there goes the pylon as I say that. So I definitely think if TZilla would just go like one big unit warp in, and an attack before he loses the map pressure he has.
Oh man, I love the War Prism. I can't think of like any bad things about War Prisms. I think if you ever have the chance to get one, you should just always do it, because this is so annoying. He's gonna get the spawning pool too.
So the spawning pool is how the third player makes basic units, Zerglings. At this stage of the game, honestly, Chris doesn't want more Zerglings, I don't think, so it's not the worst loss in the world, but it's definitely annoying.
It also means he can't make spines, spores, and queens.
Oh, that's true. The spines and spores part.
Yeah. So he does have to remake it, and he does.
TZilla made him. He got himself back up to more harvesters. His income is about 400 minerals more. Is about the difference.
Yep.
And he's doing a great job spending.
Yeah, he is. You know what's actually the really funny thing is that well, a couple things. First of all, the robotics is rallied across the map, so he might donate some Colossus. The second thing is these Phoenixes that he's been making for no apparent reason are actually going to be good when Chris makes Broodlords.
Is that look like Chris's plan? He is going for the Greater Spire? Oh god, and there are the Corruptors, you're right. Yep.
So he's been in this situation before, man. He knows what's up.
Except I really think Void Rays, if you're gonna,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but he's making those now, so it's alright.
Yeah.
He's doing the right thing. He's making Colossus and Void Rays and building the Protoss Doom army, which, you know, has my seal of approval.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is going to come down to the fact that he really didn't leverage that mid game advantage he had. Like the third base is finally going up. Oh, maybe the third base is maybe going up.
But he's gonna get this third base, like, or is he? I don't see an
Oh.
overseer. There's no overseer nearby.
No,
If he just focuses on the hatchery.
he's not though. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
rallied them. I mean, he's going to cut down some of Chris's army, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, but roaches are eminently replaceable here, and as soon as the overseers, yeah, Dark Templar are very fragile.
hmm
So,
The other thing to look out for is Chris is actually starting his 3/3 upgrades, and 3/3 on Zerglings can be pretty scary. So.
yes, indeed. Though he had to rebuild his spawning pool in
Right.
order to get the Zergling attack speed upgrade. There it is. He's
Yep.
working on adrenal glands, so he can have what is colloquially referred to as cracklings.
Right.
Yeah, I really so. There's
This
a-
I don't like.
Yeah, I think that the time has passed for these.
Yeah. Or I think if you're doing this, you need to be somewhere else with your army. I think
Yes.
just doing this alone is just donating for units.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But all that said, I still like it because, especially newer players, that's the kind of thing that you look for. It's that they're trying to take the game to their opponent and like take some control over the game. Like this entire game, Chris has just been sitting in his base defending for the last 22 and a half minutes. Whereas TZ's been poking and prodding. He's set a war prism in the main base. He's been harassing both potential third bases. He's still denied this one here,
Yes.
which Chris has tried to take like twice.
Okay.
So it shows that he's more I don't know. It shows that he's like more comfortable and more confident.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely. I think he's doing in general the right moves, but I think he doesn't necessarily know how to proceed with closing the game out.
Yeah, how to close it out. I agree. Also, I mean, we should mention that Chris is not a Zerg player. Chris is a Terran player, and he's also a Diamond League player. At least he was. So I mean,
Yeah. I think some of it is the fear. I know that when I played against Tyler last week, there were a lot of parts of the game where I was ahead, and I didn't realize it. So, also, Chris has perfect view on exactly what is in TZilla's army with this changeling.
yeah, that's really nice.
Wow. See, okay, so here's what I would like to see TZilla do. See how he's taking this fourth base and how he's walling it off? That's awesome. But he needs to move out. There it goes. Yep. He needs to have his army out to cover that. Get
Yep.
this watchtower. I like this.
I would really like a mothership.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if he has experience building motherships, really.
Mhm.
They were
I'm-
going.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna justify it real fast. So a lot of times, especially if you're playing against someone who's off racing, the best thing you can do is drag out the game and try and get to that like late game army thing, because that's a situation where the other player's not going to have a lot of experience, right?
Yeah.
So in just straight up fight versus fight, the Protoss Deathball is going to win every time, right? So if you can force a situation where you don't have much control except to just let your units fight, that almost always lends itself to the Protoss player.
I agree with that 100%. I just think that motherships were very out of vogue. Where's
Mhm.
TZilla's army? Motherships were very out of vogue after when HOTS came out.
Mhm.
And so I just don't think TZilla is primarily a HOTS player. I just don't think he has much experience building them.
Yeah, that
also-
could very well be true.
Like I'm not. I think it would be a great idea, but I don't necessarily know that we'll see it. Also,
Mhm.
he needs to turn all these gateways into warp gates.
Yep. Yep. Oh, there, and he does it immediately.
It's like he can hear me, which he can.
Yep, we did. He is not in the Skek call.
Not this guy called. Yeah, this is starting to be like he's just donating something here. If you look at the resources lost tab, TZilla has about 1,000. Oh, and there his army goes. I don't know that I like this play.
Yeah. Oh, and no observer.
No observer. So he can't get rid of that creep. And he really doesn't have. I don't know if he has enough in the air to take out the.
Yeah, this is a really good fight for Chris. Like
Yeah.
he's surrounded in on three. Wow, that was a slaughter.
Yeah, it was.
But the Void Rays actually are enough to take out the crowd.
It's true. If he's like focusing, and then Chris is gonna go for the counterattack. The question is just where. And
Right.
is TZilla gonna recognize he needs to take out these Brood Lords? These Brood Lords are the
Yeah, actually, but TZ's got like DTs and DTs are direct controls. And
I'm gonna do the really unprofessional thing here and take a second to load food sounds.
yeah, do it.
So I'm sorry, everyone. Joe, if you just wanna give a little bit of an update on what's going on.
Sure. So what's happening is both players are killing each other's bases with no regard for their own, right? So, so TZ's successfully killed Chris's third base, and
Yes.
and his army's unchallenged with this Dark Templar Void Ray army, whereas Chris has this low-tech Roach army, which is slowly being taken apart by TZ's. I actually really like TZ's position here. How about you?
Yeah, I know. I think the Protoss player has a huge advantage here. Specifically because I'll just talk about tech differences. Chris's army is very low tech, so they're really inefficient in terms of how much like punishment they put out per supply. TZ's army is very high tech with the Void Raids and the Dark Templars, so his units are a lot more efficient.
Yeah, even if he just had the Void Rays, like there's nothing Chris has left that can kill the Void Rays. He doesn't have enough. I mean, he's broke. He can't make anything.
Yep, and those Archons coming in, I think will seal the deal. If TZ can, yeah, no, I think we're about done. The supply differences are huge. TZilla managed to concentrate Archons, I think, holding them like a boss. There we go.
Yeah. That was very well done.
Yes.